Say hi, Tucker. Can you give me kisses? Bye. I need some water. Hey YouTube friends, this is Tommy. In my last video, I took you on a walkthrough of my home studio here in Gilbert, Arizona. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. It would mean a lot to me. On this video, I'm gonna take you on a journey into my creative process when it comes to writing music. You're gonna go along with me on that journey as I deconstruct my original song called Walk Away. Let's get to it. My approach to songwriting is I typically will start with a chord progression on either my acoustic or electric guitars. For Walk Away, I wanted a bridge part that would transition into the main theme or the face of the song, which would be the chorus. I guess I should play it right. Tucker, dude. So together it sounded like this originally. And that's how it started. So then I played it on my electric guitar right into Logic. After I got the guitar part into Logic, I transitioned it over to MIDI notes using the keyboard so that I could have it recorded in the DAW note by note. Okay, they're triads, but then I've added the left hand bass note, the left hand thumb note. And that completed the basic idea, but I wanted to add more layers to make it sound more interesting. I left this intro alone for a while and I wanted to build up the main face of the song, the chorus. The first thing that I did was add a second piano. I took the notes, made a copy, and then I opened up my favorite synth. It's called Serum, and I made some sound. I did some sound design, and I came up with something that I really liked. So then I thought, why not add some strings? Now there are two string tracks. This bottom one is just a string pluck with a lot of delay. And the top part is just a string patch that I have. What is missing? Well, I'll tell you what's missing, and that is some bass. I make all my own basses, and so for that I used Serum. This is just a pure sine wave with a little bit of noise added into it, so by itself you get this. And then I thought a different type of a feel with a lot of different drums. I wanted more than just kicks. I added some bongos to play with it, so you got this sort of syncopated type of a feel. I wanted to further add to that by adding some claps, and then I also added in the snare. So all of that together that that was the initial concept of the song. This is what I ended up with, or rather started with. I had some ideas of where I wanted to go with the song, but it kept evolving. Let me show you now what that evolved into eventually, and then we'll deconstruct that mix. It takes a while to load. For the intro of the song, I have kick, snare. I use 2 snares, and I'll split the panning on them. One left, one right, about 75% on each. And then I'll pitch one up and one down so that they're slightly different. Shaker, synth, choir, some FX, and a piano. For the pad, I made in Serum, so it sounds something like this. And I added a boatload of reverb and some delay. The choir. I've also got some gongs. The main piano overlay. So then all together, you get this for the intro. For the verse vocals, I did several different takes. 3 different parts. I did a regular rap.
Alright, let's begin. Change, okay, let's play that game.
I took the verse, and then I doubled it.
Now it's my turn. I try not to pick the pieces up I don't want to touch because I get burned every time.
The way I layered it, I just spoke it and made it monotone. I took another double, and then I really did some weird processing with it.
I try not to.
That was with a delay. I automated the delay time to just go from slow to fast and backwards. So it's really weird, but then in context...
Play that game. You go first, so set your world on fire, then you try to find a different match to blame.
I chose some periodic phrasing, and I wanted to bring that out. I've got these little vocal stabs. So it sounds really weird by itself, but then with the verse, you get...
I told you my head's gonna say something we're both gonna regret. Okay, guess not. Looking at you now.
Now let's move on to the chorus. I've got kick, 2 snares, and I've got 2 claps, and with my claps, I use the same technique as I do with my snares. So then I introduce some bongos. I've got compressor and a EQ, so the compression on the bongos I used on the bongo bus to just sort of glue all 3 of them together to help them feel, well, more glued together in the mix. In rhythm with the kicks, yeah, there's 2, and the snares. Steinway piano sound that comes with Logic. I've got just some EQing, and I've got a compressor just to kind of tame everything. I've also got some delay. I've got a tape delay on this one. Then I layered that same piano with yet another piano that's an octave lower. It's a Leslie piano, which gives you this sort of a tremolo-y effect. And with that Leslie piano, it's shifting left to right, and I wanted it sort of telephone-y, the way that I EQ'd it. So you get the pianos and the violin pluck. Right? It works. So I brought in the Moog pad from the verse and added that in. I added 3 more synths on top of it, and so each of these has a different purpose, so I'll walk through them one by one. So that synth is one of my go-tos that I made in Serum, and I have an LFO, or low frequency oscillator, that is modulating the filter, the cutoff filter, so it's opening and closing very quickly to give you that stabby sound. Yeah, so if I just play a note, you can hear that. On top of it, I wanted an ARP, I wanted an arpeggiator. I wanted the notes to chase. And I like the arpeggiator because I don't have to draw each of the notes going up or down. The arpeggiator does that for me, so it saves hours of MIDI programming, drawing in the notes on the screen. This synth is just, it's real stabby, it's sort of a staccato synth, there's a bunch of delay on it. There's one more ARP that I did at the end to make it sound more interesting. I used a default patch from Logic, and then I added an ARP to it. I added some EQ, compression, some delay. So I'll just go through layer by layer.
Is this something you lost and made?
I just took the dry vocal that I recorded right out of the microphone. EQ, I did some pitch correction because yes, everything sounds better when you pitch correct it. I added some delay. And then I doubled it. So on the second vocal, the double, instead of the delay, I used a bunch of reverb. Well, some reverb.
Is this something you lost and made?
But then together,
Is this something you lost and made?
I added some harmony.
Something that I found in you.
And then I added another double that I did an octave lower.
Is there anything left to say but a walk away?
My first double I panned to the left, and then my -1 octave I panned slightly to the right, just to give it a little bit of separation from the main vocal, which is up the center. With everything, this is what the chorus sounds like.
Is this something you lost and made? Something that I found in you. Is there anything left to say?
The second verse, there's a bridge that is about halfway through it that I go into, and it's a key change. I also decided that this song needed a French horn. But then I've got a Moog pad in here that is the same patch as the verse and the chorus, but it's an octave up, just to keep it interesting. Just to give it a little bit of ethereal feel on the top end. And then I've got this other effects patch, which I added to give it some texture. There's some like chains kind of hitting. In the second half of the bridge, I've got another piano. For the ending chorus, basically this is where I bring all of the elements in together. So vocals, kick, my bass of course, my 2 snares, 2 claps, the bongos, all the synths, and then I've also got French horn, violins, pluck, and I add my 2 guitars. I wanted this really cool crescendo into the ending chorus with the guitars. So the way that I did that, I used a technique called reverse reverb. So I'll strum a chord, reverse it in Logic, play that back, add a bunch of reverb to it, and then I'll record that. Then I will take that reversed recording with a bunch of reverb, flip it back to normal, and so that's where you get that swell from. And then it crescendos into the guitar parts, which are just 2 heavy distorted guitars, and I use 2 different guitars because they each have their own sound qualities, but then I also pan them just a little bit off of center just to give it a little bit of stereo image. Cool, right? I've got my pianos from the chorus, actually the exact same pianos from the chorus, and then the choir. And this is just 2 tracks. The first choir track is just an adult choir. And then the second choir track is a boys choir. To give it that top end fill, and then I added a bunch of course, reverb to it. In the context of the mix, well, there you have it. That was the creative process I used for my song Walk Away. I'm really excited I was able to share it with you. I am currently writing another song. It's called, I don't even know what it's called. Oh, What Do Angels Envy? When I get it to a point where I'm able to share that with you, I absolutely will, along with a look into the creative process on that one. So more to come soon. Stay tuned and have a great day.